thought I would write something about the condition of the postmodern professor or philosopher, and why he keeps going in an age where his children and the next generation hate him. Postmodernism had its golden age in the 1980s, and everything before then was the development of it. It came from a generation of hippies who revolted against the strict and boring modernist system, while gaining positions of power to teach modernism the way they learned it. Note, however, capitalism plays a huge part in the creation of postmodernism, because the sought-after and competitive position of the professor became an easy job to make lots of money. Therefore, spewing so-called original art, and as well reciting other art, is a nice way to make that money. There are 10 points that make up the Boomer Gen X postmodern professor. All of them have these 10 traits, or chances are, they will have several of these traits while acting like a serious professor, because they know for a fact their discipline isn't that serious, or that this is the only job that will give them $80,000 a year, and an excuse to be a professional artist. Capitalism lets us LARP as grown adults while we struggle under its influence. 1. They are both a logophile, a lover of big words, and etymologist, someone who studies the origins and history of words. Postmodernism requires an unhealthy obsession with the English language, and one must become acquainted with it all the time, or at least force oneself to love being a logophile etymologist. 2. Most postmodern professors, or at least the normative ones, are actually cryptic white nationalists. The queer postmodern philosophers understand this problem and call it racist. Or those so-called queers are actually preening to seem like they are not a stereotype of Christian Lander's book, Stuff White People Like. Most postmodern philosophers have a deep interest in Western history and literature, and so it's no secret that they flirt with white identity, like a kid looking up pornography. In other words, pro-whites that act anti-white. 3. Postmodern professors are actually in it for pleasure reading and creative writing. It's actually not about the pursuit of truth, but to create new ecstasies and realities through a new language, and hopefully create a new art scene from it. They are trying to create something new in the arts. 4. All postmodern professors believe language is a game, and want to continue creating new rules, or destroying rules that don't fit in with their own personal agenda. Most of them enjoy the language game, but those who want to flip the table, make up a new rule or write a long postmodern paper about, "that rule's unfair." The smartest postmodern professor knows it's a game, and plays it like a trading card game. 5. Similar to point 3, most postmodern professors are looking for excuses to do liberal things. By being a college professor, one can get to experience the upper class faster, and this capital's dream is sold to them. It's an easy job and anyone can do it. Those who are against this claim of creating art are actually narcissistic and want to LARP or preen as a big brain nibba, or just want to live an average life. These are the worst type of people, and they make up the majority of women's studies. 6. Similar to point 2, most postmodern professors are begging non-whites to assimilate into white culture, or assimilating them into the joy of queer white people art culture. While it's hard to assimilate black people, it's easier to assimilate Asian and non-black girls. That way, they can get full scholarship into a women's studies program and argue for Asianarianism. Showing Michel Foucault to an Asian girl can do amazing things to her psyche. More importantly, turn her white so she can understand queer culture. 7. Postmodern professors prefer to stay at a nice college on the hill, so they can enjoy their liberal-gated whites-only community. In other words, the college or university is not that famous, and they only got that position because it was available. They will make up a lie and say that their college is the best, playing into the capitalist concept of regional identity, thus becoming a consumer. Otherwise, they teach in a major city that isn't New York City, California, the Ivy League, or outside the USA, which they have extreme jealousy over. If they had a choice, they would go where the queers are, and then start bragging about why their queer culture is the best culture. This again is another capitalist trap. 8. Most postmodern professors have some type of queer identity, but most of them, under a veneer, want to be just considered an average Joe, just like their boring and cis students. They want to be normal when it's convenient, and only queer to tell others they have some form of elitism above normies. But importantly, they have to act like a normie in order to recruit them into the postmodern discipline. For example, I am just like you. But did you know about this cutting-edge feminist philosophy about Disney World? I think the whole class would like it. Plus, they tend to organize the entire classroom like a circle, so there is no fascistic platform for the dictator teacher. They try to make a laid-back audience where everyone can speak without raising hands, and speak at any time. This is true egalitarianism. Again, it is a tool for conversion. 9. Postmodern professors constantly cite popular culture to big and sophisticated concepts, like Tupac Shakur to Lane Badiou, or Bazooka Joe bubblegum rappers to Plato's philosophy. These boomer Gen X philosophers still listen to Jimi Hendrix, Rush, Nina Hagen, or good music, so they can teach younger people that everything is relative. This is just a reflection of the selfish professor trying to get across the art he likes in an odd, nonsense way. And finally, number 10. The postmodern professor believes he is a benefit towards society and wants to contribute something great long after his death. What he is saying, through his postmodern jargon game, is a unique and special contribution to the philosophy and the arts. And like an Ezrat's religion, other postmodernists should learn his theory as well. All postmodernists strive to introduce new ecstasies and realities that were not previously discovered. Each piece is special and will contribute to something greater, or at least make a nice creative writing gonzo journalist piece about how non-whites will become white like us. Apply these 10 steps to your local postmodern professor, and we can start envisioning a new movement in the arts beyond postmodernism and capitalism.